And we're back from halftime at What the Podcast.
Should we do that megaphone? Try that out.
Oh yeah, hit me with that.
Megaphone.
It's a little to the right.
And we are back from the halftime show. What the Podcast on the sidelines with Ryan and John. I'm Ryan.
And I'm John.
And together we are
Ryan and John.
And coming to us from the couch, as always, we've got the lovely wife of mine, Cara Tafolla.
Yeah.
And tuning in this week from Growing Pains with Annie, the lovely Annie the Skovmand.
Bow, 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 bow.
Always fresh, never frozen. This is Casey Kasem, counting down the top 100 hits from 1980s. Coming in at number 40.
It was too much power. You need to take it.
It's
too much vocal fry.
We never played the music, but that's okay. The intro music. That was the only piece.
We did.
Yeah.
We did? Oh, wow. I missed it. I totally missed it. There you go. Wow.
No, you even ended the little...
We go like this.
Okay, never mind. We did. Never mind. Forget what I said. Cut that.
It's
Cut
okay.
that.
It's a Monday.
It's noon,
Cut
by the
that.
way.
Cut that out.
It's noon on Monday.
Cut
We're
that.
going to cut that. We'll talk to our guy.
Cut that.
The Monday-est Monday.
We're, of course, referencing over the weekend we had the Super Bowl 59. 59?
10 more years and it'll be
59
good
or
Super
49?
Bowl.
It was 59. LIX, that's 59, of course. LX would be 60.
They don't teach...
Roman numerals?
Well,
Nope.
that's my thing. Is like they don't even teach cursive anymore. We're still using Roman numerals.
My mom told me that they had like an intern come in or whatever, couldn't read the clock on the wall. This person was 16.
You guys, it's so boomer. Who cares? Who
Yeah.
cares? Who needs to write in cursive? Who needs to read a clock?
Yeah,
Leave it all
I don't
behind.
know.
They changed all the clocks in my school to digital when I was in middle
no
school.
kid knows how to listen. Well, that's the problem. Put them up in school, and then the kids will pay attention to how to read it because that's the time they get out of school.
The world looks different than the world when we
So you
were
don't
in
think
school
there's not
looks
a-
different than it does
There's
now.
no reason to have an analog clock anymore, you think?
Well, don't you remember?
There's no reason.
The argument used to be like,
Heard, Jeff.
you have to learn how to do the math the hard way because you're not going to have a calculator with you always.
Right.
But now we literally do. We
Yes.
always have a calculator with
I
us
think
on our
that
phone.
we have this urge
Even
to
a graphing calculator, turn it sideways.
we have this urge to like force kids to, go outside and play, and it like somehow legitimizes like our, childhood.
Well,
right?
I think some of that is like for development. I mean, you don't want a kid just
For
inside on
sure.
a computer all day. That's
I'm not talking about
crazy.
outside and play. I just mean like in a general sense, like
Sure.
we want the next generation to do what we had to do, suffer through it, right? Because it somehow makes it like
Yeah, no, you're right. I guess
Normal
the
for us.
analog versus digital clock doesn't really make sense to me either. I'm like,
Doesn't bother me.
whatever, because it is a digital clock, whatever. Like, because I think some of that is like, I guess maybe a base out of a fear of like if something like there's always that like.
If the
underlying
robots
fear,
take
if the internet
over.
goes down, what does the world do
When it goes dark. Yeah,
and I don't know that
absolutely.
you should live your life by that.
I'm much
but-
more concerned with like they don't teach home ec classes anymore. Like think about like the kids that don't know how to cook. Like make
That was me.
how to balance a budget, like how to
Yeah, that's
like
true.
fend
Oh,
for
that's
yourself,
still
like
How to sew.
right? Maybe you need to sew some. You're stupid. You don't know how to
No,
cook.
I know how to sew.
Oh, you know how
I
to
don't.
sew. Okay, I mean,
don't.
me neither.
You could learn.
Well,
I
you
know
were
how to
there
knit,
when
so.
we were at dinner and our friend of the pod, Bobby, had a hole in his sweater.
And you whipped out a little sewing kit.
Yeah, and I sewed it right
That's
there.
right. That's right.
Yeah, I'm
I
not
do
sure
remember.
about that, but I mean that's cool that you can do that.
Okay,
Certainly.
when we're in an apocalyptic moment and you have, a whatever bullet hole or a zombie bite and you need it sewn up,
Guess
don't
what?
come crying to
Guess
me.
what?
Well,
won't be
if it's
worried,
a-
won't be worried about my shirt in that scenario.
No,
If it's
your
a zo-
skin.
If it's a zombie bite.
No.
Oh, you're saying you feel confident doing stitches right now?
Yeah,
on,
I
on
feel
a
like
human
if
skin.
I know if
you
the-
think? Hold on. You
I-
think that transfers?
Yes,
Being able to
Can't
sew
absolutely.
a sweater, you can sew human flesh. You're out of
Probably.
your mind. You
yes.
are out of your mind.
Yes.
You always see in.
I agree.
Boo.
I agree.
Wrong.
If you
Thank
know how to
you.
sew, you know how to stitch skin.
Thank you.
Yeah,
No,
do
you
I
do not.
do I think it's gonna
It is
scar?
completely different,
Yeah,
and you
it's
know
gonna
it
be
is.
ugly.
It is
You
completely.
always
It's gonna
see
be
in
ugly.
movies where they have the little tweezers with the like little shred of a needle and they're like pulling it through.
Yeah.
What were we just watching where they were like showing a tight close up?
Substance.
Oh, it was The Substance. Ugh, that movie was horrible.
I saw one of those cursed Facebook videos.
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Just a cursed Facebook video. This was like,
You can talk about
wow,
dead,
look
dead
what
internet.
look what this certain kind of ant can do to your skin, and it was like
Ew.
someone who had their skin split open, and it was those ants that have the big pinchers.
Oh yeah,
And it
they use
literally, but this cursed video was the ant pinching the skin together, and then another ant ripping its body off, so the ant's head has to stay in, and then another ant comes along, makes another stitch, and then gets his body ripped off. It was awful.
Honey, was it AI? Was it fake? Or
Oh yeah, it was AI.
Okay. What,
No,
like,
but I have
nothing's
seen
real
that.
on Facebook anymore.
I've seen a Facebook video similar, but it was like it was something about like some survival-esque kind of video where it's like if like in like this country they use these, like they do this for stitches sometimes.
They'll
It
put
probably was
maggots.
AI too.
They'll put maggots in
to
open
clean
wounds.
a wound.
Mm-hmm. Gross.
Speaking of not understanding, because you're old, we started to talk about the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
The halftime show was one of my favorite artists right now, Kendrick Lamar. He was up there doing his thing. We covered pretty extensively last summer the Not Like Us back and forth with Drake.
Yeah.
And this seems to really have been the final nail in Drake's coffin.
I'd say.
The most watched TV event of the year on national television, standing up in front of, all those sports fans, all of everybody on TV, and calling Drake a pedophile.
Yeah.
Pretty hilarious.
I think it is an interesting, like, I didn't think about this till just now, but like I would like too, like that, the people who really like football, there's like this category of people. I think also you'd be surprised how much those circles intersect into the Drake genre previously.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? And so I bet that adds a little salt to the wound too. Because I think a lot of his audience, are in the category of football. So, by playing this big game, it's like, ooh, that's got to be tough.
Sure, I'd
diss
say so.
track. When he won five Grammys, I heard. I heard of 4, but I guess there's 5.
All 5, yep.
And
that he was nominated for.
And then you go out and you play the Super Bowl. Oh, that's got to
Awesome.
suck.
He was up
For
there
Drake.
with SZA. They were doing their thing. Serena Williams had a moment where she was like off to the side, like
Samuel
dancing.
Jackson played Uncle Sam.
Oh,
that
kind
was
of
good.
maybe the best part of the whole thing was
Iconic.
it couldn't just be like a performance. It became this like allegory for America.
Yes.
Where Samuel L. Jackson is Uncle Sam, and he's like, "Whoa, you're making a little too much noise there, Kendrick." Like, he's like representing America, being like, "Oh, don't ruffle our feathers
and
too
there's
much."
like almost like the fates or whatever, the angels that were singing with
Awesome.
him. So good.
Yeah.
He kept like teasing Not Like Us too. It was like,
Yeah. And they were like,
and they're like, "Is
they
he
were like-
really gonna do it?"
oh, is he really gonna do it?
That was awesome.
The question
oh, he's
I
really gonna
have
do
is,
it. They were so good. I love them.
Do you think that he wasted his Super Bowl? The Super Bowl halftime performance is a pretty iconic thing for a lot of performers. Do you think he wasted that opportunity on this petty squabble that in 50 years we won't really know?
No,
or
I don't-
care
'cause
about.
I don't
It's a
think-
Grammy-winning song.
That's what I'm saying is like it wasn't just that. It became like kind of something bigger with like you've got all of the people. I mean, we're in a very specific time in the country right now. And
Yeah,
you've got
true.
everybody's dressed in red, white, and blue. And they kept calling it like, football, like America's favorite thing. And he even had a line that was like, it was awesome. I just reread it this morning. It was like the revolution will be televised. You came at the right time, but picked the wrong guy. It was like a line in the song.
Yeah.
Which is like crazy. The fact that the first president to ever come to a Super Bowl was there that day.
Yeah.
Was Donald Trump was like
Yeah,
at the
DT.
Super Bowl, and he's like, "Yeah, what's up? The
I
revolution will
wonder
be
if
televised."
that line was changed when President Trump announced that he was going to be there, or do you think it was always part of the vision?
I think it was already part of the vision.
I think you ride a line when you're somebody like, because he did his songs, but he bleeped the whole thing. Well, it wasn't bleeped. It was like he
changed
edited
it,
it
yeah.
basically to be like TV approved. So
Yeah, that's true.
you run the risk of like A, not ever getting asked back, or B, like just getting ripped from the air completely.
But do you think once you play a gig like that, you think there's a chance? Like, has anyone ever played the Super Bowl halftime again? Like,
True.
has there been a repeat?
repeat?
I mean,
I
some
don't
people
think so.
feature and then they do their big thing right on their own. But
Right.
so that I think like you're right. I mean, you're right. You don't want to ruffle. You don't want to lose your chance
Your
to come
standings.
back. But is there ever a chance? Like, do you think that he'll ever get a chance? I don't know. I mean,
It kind of seemed like that was the vibe of like, I'm not saying everything I want to say. Like, well, you
Ver-
know how
I'll
I
say,
feel.
I don't listen to Kendrick Lamar's music very often. I mean, obviously, I've heard the viral clips on TikTok.
Beyonce, Will.i.am, and Usher have all performed the Super Bowl
I was
twice.
say, I think Usher did.
Usher, really?
Yeah.
But are you sure it's not like a feature on something, and
No,
then
it's
he was
like-
the main guy and something else?
So
'Cause-
Beyonce performed 2013 with Destiny's Child.
Okay.
Okay, well,
Will.i.am was 2011 with Black Eyed Peas and last year with Usher.
but that's
Oh,
a
okay.
feature. He's
Well,
a feature on that.
Yeah.
But they were on it more than once. But
Sure.
I get what you're saying. Like an artist hasn't.
Because I'm like, I know Beyonce's been in like probably 3, just like by people bringing her on for like moments or whatever. But yeah, anyways, I was listening. I don't listen to Kendrick Lamar's music, so I didn't recognize a lot of the songs. But I was when it was over, I
You
was
didn't
like,
recognize "Sit Down, Be Humble."
well, sure.
That was
like, there's
big, yeah.
viral clips for sure, like some of the
Yeah.
stuff. But I will say, like, just from somebody who doesn't listen to his music, and maybe I didn't recognize probably 80% of what he was singing. I
Sure.
thought it was like visually and just artistically really good. I
Yes.
thought like the whole thing was like you could tell it was very calculated and it
Thought
was
out.
very tight. And I was like, I like that. Because some Super Bowls, I'm like, even when I know the music, I'm like, this feels like they threw this together in 2 weeks. Now they
Sure.
don't, but you know, sometimes the vision can get a little like, what are they trying to do here?
Right.
And so I can respect that, like the vision. There were things that I weren't getting, obviously, because I don't know Kendrick very well, but it was
Sure.
very well performed Super Bowl halftime.
Oh
I
yeah,
thought.
I'd say so.
But
Definitely
best of all
worth
time?
Definitely worth listening to. No, obviously I think
Who is the best of all time?
I think it's a tie between Prince and Michael Jackson.
Ah, yes.
I feel.
Good call.
I
good
feel.
call.
Also Creed in 2002. Really?
I really liked Gaga's.
Come on.
Ugh.
Oh, it was
I
like
don't know.
what 6 months after 9/11, and you know all the fans were coming back. They're like, "We need," and Creed is like, "Okay, here we go. Can you take me higher?" It
That's-
just united
That's
the whole
such
country.
a random artist. I feel like.
It
That was
wasn't
their
at the
peak.
time.
That
It
was
wasn't at
their
the time.
peak.
So let's go. Well,
You know,
on,
I
Creed.
found out through the magic of TikTok and random videos that Jay-Z has been consulting on who to pick for these halftime shows since 2014.
Really?
Isn't that crazy? He has a
Okay, that
consultation.
makes sense.
Maybe not for this year
Because why not?
because of all the scandal going around.
What's wrong
him.
with Jay-Z?
No, but Jay-Z has a job to do. He's got to pick the most relevant
not Diddy.
artists.
Not Diddy. Jay-Z.
No, but Jay-Z was
Jay-Z's
tied to
Yeah,
Diddy.
it's all part of it.
Well, it's his company.
Look, he's a billionaire. It's going to take a little more than like a tiny scandal to
An
get him.
allegation. Yeah, true.
I will say, I think this was one of my favorite halftime shows.
Whoa,
Like,
that's a big statement.
I know, big statement.
I'd say visually great.
But I also think the message, because to go back on what you were saying of like, do you think it was kind of like risky on this like pettiness? I think the parts of the song he chose to keep in were very strategic. I don't think it's necessarily petty. He's calling out a person, like maybe like the beef was petty, but he's like calling out, he's like, hey, listen, like this, like there's these people in music, Drake being one of them,
Yep.
that we all knowingly know that they've pulled these like pedophile like moments or done things that
Yep.
are completely not okay, and we let him roll with it. And then like he's like in calling it out, and then I think also the part that I think really stands out is the part where he calls out Drake of being like, you want to pretend like you're from Compton, but like you
Yeah.
don't know what that's actually like.
Yes.
And I think especially you add up like all the visual, everything. I think that was the like basically the crux of the whole thing was like, listen, like there's this like part of America that we're really not, we're pretending to represent, but we're not.
Yes, totally.
And I think that was kind of the crux of all of it,
Right.
with like Samuel L. Jackson as Uncle Sam and everything, and like having SZA, these people who are like these like huge like black voices in America that we put on these pedestals, but like calling it kind of out of like, listen, like, yeah, this is America's big halftime show, America the Great, the Beautiful. What are we really doing?
At something like the Super Bowl, which the NFL has had, its share of moments where, the same kind of thing. They're like putting these, black athletes on this pedestal of like, oh, these are some of the greats of all time. But then, who was the guy that took a knee?
Colin Kaepernick.
Colin Kaepernick. They basically vilified him for all of that stuff
Yeah.
that went down.
Yeah.
And so it's like they get to pick and choose too, and they're the same thing. It's $1 billion industry that thinks it can get away with murder, and it's so poignant
Yeah.
that it's like the halftime show of the
Yeah.
Super Bowl.
Well, and then
Interesting.
a friend of ours posted this fact, and I looked into it, and it is true that they're like, oh, if you don't know who to root for, Eagles or the Chiefs, the Eagles as a team collectively has less assault charges and battery charges.
What?
As
team.
than,
Through
than the other
through
team.
the players and all the coaches,
And their-
just
and
the
their,
organization
like,
in general.
And like sexual assault allegations.
I love
like,
and hate that that's a stat that somebody
They
has
can find.
compiled.
They
Yeah.
also, I guess, have more like combined funds that they have like
Given.
donated to their city.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Philly runs deep.
Philly,
Yeah.
yeah.
I also appreciate the fact that the last time didn't they win a Super Bowl?
2018,
And-
2017?
And, the
2018.
president traditionally invites the team to the White House, and they said no.
Oh, yeah, they didn't go.
want to go because Donald Trump was the president.
Uh-huh.
So I'll be curious to see how
They
it goes
said-
No, they won't.
again. That'd be
They also
A twofer?
I don't know.
In Philly, my dad was like, "There's one place I don't want to be tonight,
in
Yeah.
Philly.
and that's Philly, because
Oh.
Philly goes
Dude.
crazy
Win
for
or
Super
lose,
Bowl
they
stuff.
tear it down.
They literally
crazy
tear
to
down.
destroy the
There's
city.
videos of them.
crazy.
A couple years ago, they had to start doing this, greasing the poles
So people
Oh,
wouldn't
because
so
climb
people
up.
wouldn't
climb
climb.
up.
I saw multiple TikToks of people tearing down the poles
Yes.
and literally just walking in the streets with them.
I
Fantastic.
kind of
crazy.
wish we lived in a city that cared that much.
We would if we had a good team.
No, I don't know if it's
All right.
care. I
Take
think
that
it's
back.
alcoholism.
Take it back.
I'm talking about Chargers.
Okay. Well, you
Oh,
said-
you're talking about football.
okay.
No,
Here's
I'm talking
my
about
thing.
football.
Okay,
If we
now,
still had
am I alone
let's-
on this?
a good
Not
team.
get carried away.
If it's
All
a
right.
football game, if a football
Respect.
game's going on, the Super Bowl's going on, and you're wearing your team, so like I saw people yesterday wearing Charger stuff. I said, "You look
No.
like an idiot. Take it off.
No.
Mm-hmm.
You rep the one of the two teams."
Yeah, you
I'm sorry.
decide.
Anyone
You
wearing
decide.
America has to
Chargers
decide.
gear
Yeah.
now? I'm like,
Well, yeah,
what do you know
already
what you're
throw it away.
When
wearing?
we're at the Super Bowl level, you have to decide. It
I was
doesn't matter what
watching-
team. you
I don't
have.
care who you root for the whole year, but it's Super Bowl. There's two teams you get to pick from.
Yeah. Who?
Put your
who-
Charger shit
You
away.
you guys chose Eagles, right? I
We
chose
did,
Kansas
by the
Chose
way.
City.
Eagles. Oh, we won.
They were
I don't know.
interviewing Jason Kelsey's wife.
Yeah.
And she's a
love her.
diehard Phillies fan or Eagles fan.
Yeah, she
But
is.
also a
Philadelphia.
Phillies fan, probably.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. But she was like, yeah, it was tough there for a while when Jason wasn't playing for Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And she's like, I can't really rep your stuff. And she's like, this year he obviously didn't play. He's retired now. He's like, am I gonna wear Travis's jersey? I don't know. I don't know. Like, not even rooting for her own brother-in-law because she's like,
She said
we're
she
we're
would wear
Philly people.
Last year they didn't play the Kansas City played in the Super Bowl. Didn't play the Chiefs though.
Right.
And I mean they didn't play the Eagles though. And she said that she wouldn't wear Chiefs gear, but she would wear red. So she wore a red shirt.
Right.
But she's like, she's like, I
She's
still
like-
probably wouldn't. She's like, I still can't wear Chiefs gear.
That's like that.
I'm like,
talk about
Well-
runs deep.
yeah.
I mean,
Travis asked Jason Kelsey if he would root for him in the Super Bowl, and Jason was like, I'll always root for you. You're my brother, but that's my team." Like,
Yeah.
sorry, dude.
I would never, ever wear Dodgers gear. Ever.
No.
I mean,
yeah, no, there's
that's
no way.
that's a
Hell no.
complicated
There's
one
no way.
because
No, I
No,
will
you're-
never.
okay, I'm not. By the way, not asking you to. I'm
Wear
saying,
Dodgers.
not
Don't
asking you
ask
to.
her.
Kara, what
I'm not-
happens when the
Nobody
Dodgers
is.
buy the Padres and they make us their San Diego branch of the Dodgers?
I'm
We're
saying,
still San Diego.
If your,
Will sooner
if your
make
brother-in-law
extreme
was on
actions.
the Dodgers, it would get more complicated. Is the point? I'm not asking you to root for our rivals.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
certainly.
when Tyler makes it on the
Yeah,
Dodgers.
if he started pitching for the Dodgers, I would be like, yeah, go Dodgers,
One,
but also
amazing.
Padres. Yeah, what a career switch.
Two, I don't
Yeah,
know.
you choosing Tyler makes a lot of sense.
Well,
yeah,
that's
no.
your brother-in-law.
I only have one brother.
Noah. You mean
No,
you,
that's
Go
your
this
brother.
way
you have.
for the
No.
people who actually
He
play
said if your brother-in-law.
baseball.
You're the one that took
Oh
some hard
my
swings.
gosh.
I'm not asking you to root for the Dodgers.
Yeah,
Nobody's asking
okay,
you to
fine.
do that.
Connor joins the Dodgers.
That makes more sense.
Or like you get
Yeah.
older. Like
Uh-huh.
let's say in 30 years, my son all of a sudden plays for the Dodgers. Like, what do I do there?
Disown.
Where you can wear blue, but nothing.
It's
Have
really
you
easy
seen
to
those
I
disown
just
your
I
kids.
literally can't.
Have
Wear
you
white.
seen those
Wear white.
videos where like the sons are choosing, they're like getting drafted and
half
they're
and
choosing
half.
their
Video.
college.
I've seen that video.
No, and
It's
the
rough.
and the he chooses what college he's going to, and the
And
mom
she's
walks
pissed.
out.
Yeah, what? I mean,
She like leaves.
to some degree, come on, you get over yourself. But I think
She really thought that her son was going to pick because I think it was her school or their local
Yeah.
school. It was like Baylor or something.
Well, I mean, like that's Joe Musgrove's family. They grew up and lived in San Diego their whole lives, and he goes and he plays for the Pirates for the start of his
Rough.
career, and it's like,
I
But he
guess the start of
made
the
it back.
career though is just
Made it back.
whoever's gonna pick you.
well, that's what I'm
Right?
saying. That's the season. But I mean, for
Yeah.
your family, if you're a diehard Padres fan, and then your brother goes and plays with the Pirates, you're like, well, I guess the Pirates aren't super threatening in terms of like the domain
Right,
of
right.
of
If he
MLB.
started
There goes
playing
our
for-
pirate audience.
or the Yankees, I'm like, that's
Yeah,
different. Like Yankees would be like, oh yeah, I mean, it's a
good
dynasty.
team. That's a good team.
That's tough.
Travis Kelce was catching some crap last week from the Twitterverse, the
Yes.
fans, because a lot of layers to this. They asked him about, how do you feel the president's going to be at the Super Bowl next week? And they asked all the players. They're trying to get some like a reaction
soundbite.
out of him.
Reaction,
Yeah,
yeah.
a little soundbite. But he goes basically along the lines of like, yeah, it should be interesting. Like, this is the best country in the world, and it should be exciting. Like, great that there's going to be a president there. And everyone's like, now hold on. Your girlfriend, Taylor Swift, catches shit from Donald Trump on the weekly on Twitter.
Yeah.
He hates her. So what are you?
If he said great that there's going to be a president.
No, you
That's
can read
different
the
than
quote. You can
the
read the
president.
quote. He basically was hyped about
That's semantics. But yeah, I mean, it's a tough one for sure.
it. Yeah.
He kind of seems, and I don't know him, and I'm sure he's a great guy, dumb.
Yeah.
So it doesn't
Yeah.
but he kind of has golden retriever energy
Yeah.
where he's
He
has
like,
a couple
yeah,
hits
it's
to
gonna
the
be
head,
hype.
so-
It's gonna be hype.
Oh my
Everything's gonna
gosh,
be
you
hype. Football
guys.
game hype.
I think
like
we should probably be looking into that.
He is very golden retriever.
yeah,
energy.
Like, I
he is
think
like
he's hyped
little
because
little baby.
It's his job to be hyped.
Oh, I
That's
don't
his
know
job.
about that.
Be hyped man for team.
Yeah, be hype man for
Big
your
team
girl.
play ball
when
game.
you go home to Taylor Swift tonight,
He's hyped.
what are you gonna say? What are you gonna say to her? Oh, sorry, honey. Yeah.
I was too high.
She's like, that guy hates me. What do you mean? You're excited to see him?
Yeah.
yeah, but most guys hate her.
Uh,
Like that's
not,
her bag.
Not many presidents hate her. I'd say probably the one.
Well,
No,
that
then he goes
president
home
hates
and
a lot of
goes-
Let me
people.
be clear.
Goes, honey.
I love
I
Taylor
was
Swift."
trying to save face.
Yeah. Well,
If I said something else, the whole country would be against me.
I don't think I'd get away with that. If I
Yeah,
said
but
I was trying to save
here,
face,
hold on.
I wouldn't get away with it.
Here's the reality too. To a little bit of contrast. There's another like guy that was trolling all them at these press conferences, and he was playing on this whole theory in the NFL that the Chiefs get calls from refs, like they get favored by refs.
Yes.
And literally, to give you perspective, when they asked Travis, like they said, like, who do you love more, Taylor Swift or
The refs.
a roughing the passer call from a 15-yard phantom call from the ref, and he literally was like, next question. I'm like, you could have done that for the president question. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like he did that
Yeah.
for some petty
Uh-huh.
like rumor. This
Right.
like guy who's trolling him, but then he doesn't. He could have done that for the
But,
president
hey,
question.
Kansas
you know?
City, red state.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, Missouri.
Well, and
Really?
also
Come on, of
Patrick
course.
Mahomes' wife is like very vocal in support of Trump. So I mean, the Kansas City has like a history of saying positive, like
Sure.
of like outwardly supporting.
I
Donald
think
Trump.
Patrick Mahomes had a next question type of answer.
Yeah.
Because they're asking all those guys. Like I said, it's the death of journalism. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
like anything to be talking about. It's
Totally.
Like, it's like, what do you feel? What do you feel about the president? And then we decide how we feel about him because of how he feels about the president.
There's tons of people that go to these games that they could be asking about. You know what I'm
Totally.
saying?
Who
Like
knows?
controversial stuff.
The dude's like a gajillionaire. How much money does Travis Kelce have?
He's one of the highest paid
I'm
tight
on
ends.
it.
I'm sure he does like a lot of the policies that Trump's enacting.
But you know what? He
If they get married, do they get a prenup? You think
Oh, for
prenuptial
sure.
agreement?
Yes.
I'm sure
There's
they
no
spent
way.
weeks designing
How much
one.
money.
Or even honestly, I'm sure there's a contract in place for this whole dating relationship. I'm
Wow.
sure there's
Yeah.
something that protects them. In
I
Travis
mean, they already
Kelce-
have a house together.
I mean,
so.
it's not. Dude's got $52 million, so it's not like he's going to. Yeah, I mean, who
No,
pays
she's-
for dinner?
she's
Does she
making the
pay for
money.
dinner?
She's making
Does
the
he
money.
Pay for dinner when they go out to dinner. Who pays?
her. Well, no, him because it's
Him.
She's
it's
a billionaire.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
him because it's chivalrous.
Does she
He's a
care
good
about?
old
She's a
boy.
girl boss. Does she care about that kind of stuff?
She does.
Yes.
Every girl wants to
Yes.
be taken care
Everybody
of.
does until
A
It's
billion.
Yes.
Valentine's Day
$1 billion.
tomorrow.
Wow.
Everyone wants to be taken care of.
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day tomorrow.
Chocolate covered strawberries. Sorry, Annie. Chocolate covered cherries.
I don't know why Kara seems so loud in my ears today.
Because my ears are very low.
Yeah, mine are kind
She's
of hot.
screaming. I love it.
Because
Yeah.
I don't think she's the loudest she's probably spoken in the last
Valentine's Day.
Guys, I got this coffee for free
Valentine's Day.
today.
Oh yeah,
Actually,
heard
I
about
got
that.
it for you.
What?
Okay.
Wait, what do you mean?
Oh, we're off
It's
of Valentine's
free.
Day.
We used my app.
Okay. Wow, that's
You're-
that's
One
pretty
per
petty.
person.
You're really testing
Wait,
me.
you're going to
You-
Starbucks?
Yes.
That
On
is,
this-
by the way, that
You
is very
own a
Kendrick
coffee
Lamar of you.
shop.
On this Thanksgiving on this
Valentine's
Valentine's
Day
Eve,
Eve.
you're really testing me right now.
I'll cancel our plans.
I'll do it.
I'll
I'll
do
do
it.
it.
was
I'm
free.
serious.
I'll return it.
For the past week, they were like,
Walk me through this. Starbucks is now on a campaign where they're writing on all the cups.
They want to bring back the we're your neighborhood coffee shop because nobody goes to Starbucks because they're big conglomerate coffee.
Of course, they're horrible.
Horrible.
they
Fast
literally
food.
had it was all over TikTok. These
Yeah.
poor employees, they were like, we really had a 3-hour meeting to say that we're not giving out free water anymore.
Yeah.
Oh.
You have to buy something.
What?
The whole writing on cups thing too is kind of patronizing. I think I've been saying this about Starbucks, like they're doing this whole campaign about we're writing on cups again, and I'm like, are we that dumb? Like,
Were they not?
Yeah.
no,
Wait,
there
I'm-
was. I,
Well,
They
you know,
only
did
wrote
that
on
ever go
cups.
away?
They only wrote
Yes.
on cups when the stickers
down.
would stop working.
Oh, true.
Yeah. So they
so
did
now
the
they're like, we're
stickers.
intentionally writing on cups again. I'm like, okay, so now I'm gonna go buy a $6 latte from Starbucks because you're writing on cups again. Come on.
It's kind of
They
nostalgic.
also are no longer allowing the public to use their restroom. You must be a paying customer.
And
Wow.
now
That feels
when you
overdue.
order a drink for here, it'll come in a for here cup or mug. Always. Even
Okay.
if you didn't ask. If you
A
say
for
you're
here
having
cup?
it for here,
Oh,
they will
okay.
give you the for here cup.
They're trying to be local.
They're trying to be local.
local
I don't
coffee
like
shop
it.
vibes, and it's not gonna work out.
Okay, but they're also saying you can't come use the bathroom for free and you can't get
No.
a free water.
Yeah.
The
I don't know.
unhoused are not gonna like that.
I
one.
think that is probably in an effort to cut costs slightly. You know, I mean,
Right.
It's and wear and tear. You know, like if somebody unhoused comes in and blows up the bathroom, or it's like then
Oh,
one
yeah.
of the workers got to spend an hour cleaning it, like the whole thing. You know,
a friend of mine used to work in the Starbucks, like right by our high school, like right out of high school. She was working here, and she said, "Yeah, every day this guy would come at like basically opening and go in the bathroom and then lock himself in the bathroom for like 3 hours.
Yep.
And they couldn't they'd have to call the cops every day, and the cops
Yeah.
would show up and like get this guy out of the bathroom.
and I'm
There'd
sure
be
that
people.
is.
There'd be people
every
taking
day.
showers.
I'd be willing to bet that
That's
happens
bathroom.
at least in probably 1 in every 10 Starbucks. Probably there's somebody
I'd say
like
that's
that
probably
guy.
true.
You know,
I'd say that's
and so
probably true.
Starbucks is probably looking at all these reports, going, "Well, there's an easy way to stop this,"
Which is
Just
kind of
lock the
dumb
bathrooms.
Put a
because
code on the bathroom.
there's been codes on those doors for years now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but you,
sure.
you go to this, you go to the counter, and then you can say
Nationwide.
like, "Hey, can I get the code?" And then they have to give it to
Yeah.
you.
You
But now
gotta
it's
buy
like, no, you
something.
gotta buy something. I think what it is, honestly, it sounds weird, but I think it's also to empower the workers a little bit.
Yeah,
Because
it's
I think
it's
there are
optics,
people.
right?
I think there are people who abuse that, and the workers like, I've filled up this water 6 times for this guy who comes in like
or
every day.
kids coming after school.
Yes.
I watched a bunch of kids. I was in Starbucks with my mom one time. We watched a bunch of kids order just iced milk, a bunch of milks, and then they went over to the counter with all the toppings and stuff, and they were putting sugar in the milks, and they were just drinking sugar milk.
Oof.
And I was like, you guys are a menace to this store right now and the
Yeah,
world.
the one
maybe.
across from Santan down the road at 2:00, you got to steer clear because they literally
So-
come in and
Didn't they
take
close it
over.
down or something?
Yeah, they closed it
No,
down
the
at
Del
2:00.
Taco.
Yeah.
The Del
That's
Taco
hilarious.
closed
Same.
for like 4 hours in between like when school gets
To
out.
avoid that.
That's it. They made the news. I remember that.
Do you
being on the
think?
news.
Do you think it's giving away free water, or it's like water in general?
You
What do
have
you
to
mean?
pay.
Because when I go in,
if you're
I mean,
buying
normally
coffee,
I will be ordering something, but then I'll ask them to like fill up my water for me, like my
That's
cup,
probably fine.
No, they'll probably fine.
because they're
they'll-
they're
and
not
their
giving
whole
away
thing is
product.
They'll give you
Yeah,
ice
for
water
that.
if you buy something.
If you buy something, which the only time I ever get ice water is if I'm like going like
Getting
I'm getting
food.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I've never gone and I guess
Free
abused-
water.
I've never.
There's
we're
been
not
one
the
time. There
problem.
was one time I was running errands,
Oh,
and
you
I
were the
I was
problem.
so thirsty.
You need a free water.
I literally went through the drive-through and went, "Can I please just get a venti water?" And they were like, "Yeah, sure."
I don't
Yeah, but-
see a world where they don't keep doing that. Like,
Yeah.
I can't have a water. Like, oh,
Maybe it
sorry,
was Dunkin'
company
Donuts.
policy.
No, I'm sure.
It
I'm
might not
sure.
have been
It's, like I said,
Dunkin'
I'm sure
Donuts.
it's probably publicly they're saying it's required. I'm sure
Right.
internally they're going use your discretion. Like if
Yeah.
it's a guy who needs water and he's
Uh-huh.
been sitting there working, he ordered a coffee 4 hours ago. He's been sitting there working or whatever. You know.
I don't know. I'm not a Starbucks fan, so I don't care what they do in their store.
I got a free water, or like I got water at Chick-fil-A. I like went through and got
Oh,
something, and I asked
okay.
for water, and they gave me water. disgusting.
Disgusting
That's
water.
the sucky thing is
Disgusting
Starbucks
water.
has like it's reverse osmosis, double filtered.
Good water.
It's literally good water.
Good
Annie,
water.
chill out.
I
Okay.
love reverse osmosis
Annie had
water.
a physical reaction to what you just said. She was like,
They have what?
I love John and Jordan have a reverse osmosis thing, which has been shut off
Oh.
because it was leaking.
"Yes." It was
And like I remember John being like, "Oh, well, like whatever's left in the tank is whatever water's there. It's just not going to refill."
it's a
Yeah.
storage
And
thing, yeah.
I've used it sparingly every once in a while when
Good
I really
call.
need a good cup of water.
I didn't even consider for the longest time until I started working on that thing I'm moving in silence about.
Yeah. I was gonna say we're not talking about it. Huh?
Not
Okay,
talking
cool.
about.
I just want to make sure.
I hadn't considered the quality of the water I was drinking. I
Yeah.
drink water right out of the tap.
Yeah.
I don't care.
No, we don't. We have a Brita.
Well, whatever.
But
it's
he-
out of the
but
tap.
He has done that before.
The Brita is like a,
Like a little filter.
it's like a colander basically.
Yeah.
Just catch all
yeah,
the
I'm not sure the Brita
particulates.
is like doing a whole lot.
Well,
I
it,
know.
it,
it's a little can.
Especially-
It's
I
this
mean-
big. There's no
I mean-
way it's doing
yeah,
that
but
much.
it's
blasting
it's
through that
taken
shit.
out a bunch of like plastics and stuff.
and it also it's blasting
we're-
through
Blast-
like
it's
2
like,
seconds. It's like, ew.
yeah. Those
There's no
microplastics.
way. There's no
not-
way that Brita's doing anything.
I like a little crunch, especially because the little thing that
A little crunch.
the little thing that
crunchy
turns
water.
on that's like, hey, you need to replace your filter. We had that on our filter for like 6 months. They
no,
were like,
Yes,
no.
exactly.
The longest we had it on, I think, was for 1 month after.
And also, I know a
no
guy.
chance, Karen.
I know
It
a
was
yes,
guy-
I changed
maybe
it.
a year.
I changed it.
no.
I'm the one who buy it and change it.
I
the
buy
one who
you.
buy
I
it.
buy it change.
I'm
I'm
biased.
saying it's doing something, but not nearly the
No.
amount.
No,
that
I mean,
you
it's like
need.
putting it through a coffee filter.
It's not reverse osmosing.
No,
it is not reverse osmosing, and you can taste the difference.
And you can taste it. Oh, really?
Oh,
you
you
came
can
to my
taste
house,
the
Thank
drank
you.
the water.
Thank you for reminding me. I got to get that fixed. 'cause
Yes,
That's
you
like
do.
the water here
I'll
versus
get it fixed as soon as you
truly
Get
any other state or country. How the water here makes you feel like
Hold on,
nasty.
let him work through it. Let him work through it.
Back channel.
Yeah, hold on. Sidebar. We need a sidebar button.
Kara, hit it.
Sorry, go ahead, Kara.
You know, like the water filters in your shower, like the shower head filters.
Yes. Oh my gosh, and the ones where it's like clear and you can see how gross it gets.
Nasty.
It literally, I'm like, how much? Because like it's the water we have here is called hard water.
Yeah. Well, it's just
It has
like
minerals
it's a,
in it.
It's a hard water versus a soft
Yeah, so
water.
like minerals, they cake up and
Sure.
calcify and stuff. Where like in Hawaii, after you
Oh,
take
yeah.
a shower, you feel like on top of the world.
You can get a shower filter.
They got
you
good
know,
water.
right?
They have good water.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also when you get a shower filter, your pressure goes down. I'm not losing my pressure.
Gotta have your pressure. Could be worse. We could be in Flint, Michigan. Do you ever see those
I
videos
hated
Oh
that.
yeah, I did a whole research project on
where they're
the water
lighting
in
the
Flint.
sink on fire and it was like there was
It's like-
petroleum in the water or
Yeah,
something?
it's like
So crazy.
literal dirt water.
Do you ever see that, John?
Yeah.
Where they light the sink on fire?
That's wild. I know it's crazy. Well, I guess we're a little bit blessed out here. Our water's not as hard as it is in Michigan,
Blessed.
Flint, Michigan. You know, but
Hard, that's like nuclear water.
Yeah, that's like they
That's
haven't had
gnarly.
drinking. Well, I don't know about now.
I
What's it updated now?
why wouldn't it be a big news story if they finally fixed the water in Flint?
That's
If they
true.
fixed it, we'd be talking about it.
Because
for
all I know
years.
is a couple years ago, it was literally
know a
like
guy-
they had to buy bottled waters.
Yeah, no,
For
A buddy-
everything.
A buddy of mine lives in Arizona, and he did a water test on the water that just comes even through filtered, through fridges and stuff.
Sure.
And it was pretty bad. And so they have 5-gallon jugs of water, like they know has been purified by a plant, and that's all they drink is out of these, coffee.
His,
and
his
everything.
parents were a jug
Better safe than
family
sorry.
for a
Yeah.
long time.
And I think that's cool. I think the problem is I'm a convenience guy.
All
So,
about
it's
convenience.
like if it's like, it's got to be life threatening for me to change over in my
Right.
opinion. Like if it's going to take a half year off my life, I mean, I'm just going to use the tap water.
There is
you know?
something about the water cooler, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
That is true.
You go to
went
the
out
water
here.
cooler?
That'd be cool.
awesome. And then the Sparklets guy comes on Monday, changes it out. Oh,
You know, a lot of people don't do that anymore. They go to they bring the bottles to the
yeah.
storefront.
To
To
Yeah.
the water
which is
place.
crazy.
I used to live
went
down
to
the
a-
street from Water
this
Store.
is riveting podcast.
Yeah,
by
I
the
know.
way,
I know.
I went to the water store recently.
Yeah.
awesome,
Cool. So cool.
so cool because they have like a pitcher rinser basically, that
Uh-huh.
and it sanitizes the bottle, and then you fill it up.
Yeah.
They put a little cap on there,
And then you're out of there.
and then you got clean water.
Yeah. Whoever thought of I'm gonna make a water store? Genius.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Genius.
I'd say so.
I know. It's
I'd
crazy.
say so.
In Hawaii, earthy crunchy capital of the world, there were these things called, and I don't know, I can't remember what they're called, but they were these like tall water like filters, and they're silver, and they're like $400, and it sits on your counter, and it's basically you pour in the water, and it like goes through all these different filtrations, and it's like all the earthy crunchy moms who like only use essential oils and like
it's giving that vibe.
Yeah, like charge their crystals in the sunlight would only drink from that, and every time I'd go to someone's house with it, they're like, no, seriously, Annie, you cannot drink from the tap. And as a kid who drank from the hose, I was like, the tap feels
I drank from my shower head.
Yeah. Like
anyone else?
Absolutely.
Anyone else? You turned it cold and you drank water in the shower?
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely.
I always did that thing where it like runs off your hand and you like you can like use water bed.
I literally at the end of my showers I would literally turn it on the coldest and I would drink the water.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're thirsty? I'm having water come straight out of the. Yeah.
I just took a hot shower.
I don't know.
I think I've never been more like hydrated than when I drank from the hose.
And it was
like metallic.
Well, remember school?
No, it was school fountain.
The school
metallic.
fountains that would like the school drinking fountain that was attached to
You
like
can
the
clip that, John.
industrial sink. And you would
Yes.
turn it on,
Literally
and it was
metal.
cloudy.
It was
cloudy
metal.
I don't care. Catch me on the playground playing,
I don't care.
Playing dodgeball. Oh, got to take a break. Go over to the water fountain, just drinking it
I
out.
drank
Does
from a
anything
public
for
water
your
fountain the other
immune
day.
system, you know, drinking.
Well,
out
I
of those
feel like
Yeah,
I
for
feel like
sure.
those
Something
minerals,
say.
those minerals are coming. I feel like it could be like an allergen thing.
Yeah.
You know how it's like you're supposed to eat the honey from where you're from because
Yeah.
it builds up allergens.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
From
bees-
pollen.
The bees are pollinating local
Exactly.
flowers and local allergens.
I feel like having the
Crazy.
certain minerals in our water, you should keep some of them.
So in Flint,
What about
Michigan,
the-
they should be fireproof. They're like,
Yeah.
They're superheroes.
Yeah.
they can
They're
walk
literally
through fire.
superheroes. They're actual
I've
waterbenders.
been building up my resistance to fire.
Yes.
What the hell?
No, I think there are kind of two schools of thought on a lot of this. It's like, you know, the whole immunity thing, and then the like, I want my water as pure as I can get it. And I think.
I mean,
somewhere
you're
in the
gonna be a
middle.
dad soon. What are you gonna do for little Bebo?
I think the reverse osmosis is, if you have it. The problem with reverse osmosis, and I inherited from when I bought the house.
Yeah.
But they're expensive. They're
Yeah,
a
sure.
lot of money.
Sure.
So it's like, do you do that? I mean, I got the sense that the previous owners of this house, and I think I've told you this off podcast, that they were really weird about filtering, and because they disconnected the water line from the fridge, so you couldn't even get water from the fridge if you wanted
Wow.
to. So like, I think I got the sense that they were kind of really particular
Freaks.
about that.
But
you know?
people lived for
Crunchy
generations
granola.
drinking, water from the hose.
and I'm sorry,
Water
and
from
I
the
think
stream.
water from the gutter.
I think you got to look at the I guess the intention of it. Like,
Sure.
if you're doing it to try to live longer, I don't know that the science backs that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the life expectancy has gone up. Is that because we're drinking reverse osmosis, or because
I don't know.
medicine is better?
Yeah,
Or
right.
because our food is more processed?
I think if you want to live longer, I think there are far more and different steps you can do to live longer than filtering your water.
I feel like those people tried it one time and just got obsessed with the taste
Yeah, it
Yeah.
tastes good.
because you can taste different waters.
You think?
Did you see
You think
Dasani?
that's why?
You know how Dasani is like
Salt
known
water.
for being horrible?
Horrible.
Dasani started a whole campaign where they're like, Dasani, now without salt.
Wait, really?
Yes.
No
they
way.
changed their formula.
that was the plan the whole time,
they
guys.
Got 'em.
literally changed their
Oh,
formula.
that was the thing I was going to say
Dang.
earlier, guys. I've got $1 million idea.
Okay.
Okay,
All right, sharks.
and it's for Chick-fil-A.
okay.
Okay.
I wish we had the Shark Tank music. I'll
Yes.
load that up.
Hello, sharks.
Dun, dun, dun.
Hello, Chick-fil-A people.
Yes.
Open on Sundays. Do you know how much money they can make? They can make it a whole
That's
campaign.
kind of the whole point, though.
The whole point of the chicken, or the whole point of
whole
being
point
a
of
Christian company.
a Christian company.
And what I'm here to tell you is, if they were open on Sundays at like noon,
For an hour.
the church crowd would go crazy.
Once a month, they choose a Sunday.
Once a month, you could do a whole campaign and go, this summer Chick-fil-A is going to be open on Sundays from noon until close. You could make $1 billion.
Or noon until 4. That's like right in between church times on Sunday.
Guys, it's perfect.
And
It
you
I
could
don't
practically
say,
know.
writes
you
itself.
could say
I don't
half
know.
the proceeds go to what, like this month, the
Sure,
proceeds
you
are
could
going
lie.
to
Absolutely.
the podcast.
But
Yeah.
whatever. I mean,
Jesus.
like, I'm saying, like, it would, if they make 3 times their normal, even if they give half away, they're making
I think
over half of what they made.
Your numbers are going to go up significantly.
I think they make
feel.
far more money on the scarcity tactic of it being closed on Sunday.
You think they're
Yeah.
making more money on Monday because they were closed on Sunday?
How
No,
many
I think-
times
I
have
think
you
when
wanted
you-
Chick-fil-A and it's been
Only
a
on
Sunday?
I think
Sunday.
when
Every time.
you
Absolutely.
when
Every
you
time.
want Chick-fil-A
Sunday.
and it's not on a Sunday,
Okay.
you're
That never
absolutely
happens.
gonna go because you're like, if I wait until I'm the next craving, which could be Sunday, I'm not gonna be able to get it.
Amen.
The
Interesting.
scarcity tactic
Interesting.
works.
I'm saying you're right, but it'll be like the Disney Vault. Remember when they used to be like, this movie's going to be available for a limited time only. So you go for this
Sure.
whole month, we're going to be open on Sundays and then close.
I do think they could do more of that, like maybe one Sunday
You
a
guys,
year. they
I'm
do
talking
it.
billions. We could make billions.
I love Ryan being like, I have a crazy idea. Open on
Sundays.
Sundays.
Yeah, that was.
They
pretty
could
wild.
make it a whole campaign.
Yeah.
I thought about it earlier, but I didn't say it, but I just remembered it.
Wow.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah. So
Very
there you
nice.
go, Chick-fil-A people. That one's for free.
That one is for free.
Next one's going to cost $4 a month even.
Hey.
Speaking of cost, folks, it's not every day that we get. I don't know where I was going with that. Patreon. All right, listen, we got to keep these lights on over here at the podcast. We got to get these mics hot. Okay, with your support, $4 a month, we can keep this show going, and you can get access to the post show, the behind the scenes videos, the merch drops, all of these special things that insiders get. When you're the biggest fan of What the Podcast, you get all the inside scoop. So go down to our bio below, get our link to our Patreon, and that's what you're gonna do with that. That makes sense?
Yes.
Was that all right?
Yeah,
I
it was
got a little.
very
I
good.
lost the thread at the beginning there, but I found
Very
it.
good.
I found it. Thank you so much for your support on this show. We love hanging out every week and just catching up, giving our little 2 cents on the matter.
That was
and
fun.
Yeah, I'd say so. John, you got any? Did anyone ever tell you could be one of the Kelsey brothers? I think you kind of have that look.
Please don't do that.
You look a
Don't
little
do that
Jason-y to me.
I'm not interested.
No?
Thank you. No,
Not
I'm
so
good.
much?
I'm good. I'm right. Thank you.
Fans, write in below. Could John pass as one of the Kelsey brothers? Maybe he's playing tight end for one of those
if
teams
they're gonna
next
pay
year.
me $50 million, I'll give it a try.
That
certainly.
would be awesome. Ladies, any final thoughts? No, they're already in the phones.
No.
That's what's wrong with this generation.
Yeah,
man.
it is.
It sucks.
It is.
On the couch as always, Cara Tafolla, Annie the Skovmand. I'm Ryan.
I'm John.
And we'll see you next week on
What the Podcast. Annie, say it.
Podcast.
I hate when she doesn't say it.
There's
Well, I already put. If I had a mic stand, I could say it and use both my hands.
There's sound coming from my TV, and I don't know how to make it stop. That was me during the halftime show.
Okay, Boomer. How do I stop this?